So let's compare the iPhone 14 Pro with the newer iPhone SE 4. Let's go ahead and take a look. So I think the overall better device that you should pick up is going to be the iPhone 14 Pro, although it is older by two model years of the more budget, newer, fresher SE 4. And it all starts off with one being a Pro, the other one being a budget phone. And the first thing that I think of is the camera setup. Just by looking at the back of these devices, you could tell that the iPhone 14 Pro packs a punch with the 3 cameras on the back. It has the extra ultra wide lens and the telephoto lens, while the iPhone SE 4 only has one single lens. So you have a big advantage taking pictures and videos on the iPhone 14 Pro. Next advantage of the 14 Pro is going to be the high refresh rate on the screen. It's super smooth, super fast. That is a fundamental feature of the Pro model iPhones. The iPhone SE is going to only have the 60 hertz refresh rate, which the iPhone has been on since the early days of the iPhone. It's been around for such a long time, such an old feature. That's the biggest difference that separates a Pro iPhone from a cheaper basic base model one. So once you go to the high refresh rate, the other one feels old and jittery. Next advantage of the 14 Pro over the newer SE 4 is going to be the build quality. If you do not rock a case on your phone, then this is going to matter a lot to you, because the build quality of stainless steel on the 14 Pro feels a lot nicer, and the build quality just feels more solid in your hand than the cheaper material that's going to be found on the iPhone SE 4. Budget devices feel cheaper in general, but this is only the case if you don't rock a phone case. Next positive advantage of the 14 Pro over the SE 4 is going to be on the front of the device, and that's at the top. You have the newer dynamic island on the 14 Pro versus the notch of the SE 4. That makes it feel like an older device, the SE 4. You just get a little bit of extra features and benefits from the dynamic island, and it just to the average person, you could tell right away if a person is rocking a more modern featured iPhone. And in this case, the 14 Pro is obviously just looks newer with the tech on the top and the front. Next advantage of the 14 Pro is going to be in the display again, and that is an always on display, another Pro feature only found on Pro iPhones. And the SE 4 does not have that, so you're not going to be able to see any notifications when the phone is on standby mode. And the last advantage that the 14 Pro has over the SE 4, and it's a very important one, is going to be in the price department. If you get these phones unlocked, you're going to get the iPhone 14 Pro for less than $500, and that's the price point that Apple will be selling the iPhone SE 4. If you were to get both of these devices unlocked, the better deal is going to be the 14 Pro. It's going to be cheaper. I've seen it renewed on Amazon for $450, and that's with a great battery and in a great condition. So in the price department, you're getting a Pro device with a lot of Pro features, and you're going to be saving money. It's going to be cheaper than getting the budget newer device, which by all accounts is kind of using old tech compared to the 14 Pro. Single camera, it has a notch. That's about it. Physically wise, if you were to look at it, the 14 Pro still feels more fresher, more modern, and you're getting it at a cheaper price. The few differences that are better on the SE 4 than the 14 Pro is probably going to be in the charging department. Has USB-C versus the Lightning port on the 14 Pro. And in general, you're going to get a faster chipset and a little bit of extra RAM on the SE 4. But the 14 Pro is still a better phone for the next couple of years than the iPhone SE 4.